All right. What's up, everybody? We are going into the grand finals of the very last Olimoleague. Onside Gaming's Maru in the top right, up against Onside Gaming's Solar. It is a teammate match. And some of you might be thinking, Maru's going to wipe the floor with Solar Pig. But guys, hold your horses. Solar has destroyed top-tier opposition again here. He absolutely dumpstered a bunch of nerds like Hero and Clem and didn't drop a map doing it. So I think he 2-0'd Hero in the round of 8 and 3-0'd Clem in the semifinals. Solar has absolutely devastated this tournament while Maru barely got through his semifinal versus Beyond. So this is actually a really good matchup between the two. And obviously they do have a bit of history. Maru landing a giant nuke on Solar's face, them both being teammates and buddies. Solar being the unluckiest player in the world while Maru is a unparalleled beast of the game. That was a very important raise there on the depot because that is a second factory. So we know right now Maru is going to be playing mech this game up against Solar on altitude. Now this is of course played on Team Liquid map contest maps. And yeah, this is a big one. You've got this low ground water in the middle. There's like a nice little bunker in there for some reason. I don't think it really does anything, just a bit of a blocker. And yeah, you've got nice little stations next to these geothermal things. You can go have a little toasty barbecue there, toast some marshmallows. There's gold minerals. So main feature of this map, if you guys haven't watched it, kill the rock tower. It collapses rocks, kills the watchtower. So if you kill that, it crashes rocks, kills the watchtower, and then you can kill the rocks to take the base. The base has 10 gold minerals. So it is a very, very valuable base. People used to lose their minds over the map that had 8 gold minerals on it. So you can see here, neither of the cooling towers have been taken out. Maru checks that with his Hellions. He's going to be going Blue Flame Hellions real early in this game. Mass Queen coming out for Solar. If Solar builds a Roach Warren, he's going to have an easier time of it. If he doesn't, he could be in trouble. These creep tumors with ice on them look kind of hilarious, guys. Solar dropping some question marks right now. Maru says GG. Did he just lose something? Why is Maru saying GG? Oh, did the Overlord just see a Cyclone? I think maybe he realized? I don't know. A bit distracted by the chat. Solar does drop a Roach Warren and 2 more gases, so I think he knows what he's up against. And you know what? Beating Solar with mech is pretty difficult. Gumio's done it before a few times. I know a few of the top guys have, but Solar is very powerful at just taking you out with like surprise muters, Ravagerling, Bane, all this sort of stuff. Okay, here we go. Hellions and Cyclones as well. Now, you could come and just build a hatchery there and just long distance mine a bit less efficiently, but I think it's very vulnerable, which is why players wouldn't want to do that. Queens are going to try and push this back with Transfuse, respread the creep. There's a floating barracks! Maru, depot down! Oh no, Maru caught with his pants around his ankles. SCVs are going to get hammered by that unless he can get a full surround. He's going to need some more units to help defend. Cyclone Hellion plus Marines get pushed back there. Maru utilizing a lot of F2 this game. He's accidentally brought his 2 Marines to the other side of the map, which has got to be a mistake. Hellion's gonna go for a run by. Oh, the roaches are about to pop, but they're not here yet. And you can see, only gets 1 drone so far. Tries to kill the Lings on the ramp, but oh, good D. Solar there, giving Maru a big firm taste of the D, and Maru not gonna be too happy with that, but diving on the 3rd at the same time. These Cyclones don't have mag field, though. They're not gonna be able to do that much damage. He's gonna leave that Cyclone down there. Just see if it can pick off a few of these drones since it is trapped. And actually, he does get like 4 or 5 drones before it goes down. Floating barracks is burning though. And at the end of all that, Solar seems okay. But Maru greedily taking a 3rd on location behind it. Oh, there's only 1 Hellion here. That Hellion does good damage, but if it's not shooting in a straight line on the Zerglings, its splash will not be effective. Oh, good pullbacks on these Cyclones though. Does clean up a lot of those Zerglings. Solar's going to need to be more efficient. Spamming the question marks in the chat. Maru has been just spamming the chat this entire tournament long. The Koreans are having so much fun in this tournament. They really wanted to give some drama, some silliness, some banter and fun, and we're actually encouraged to do so, I believe, by Crank. Solar, no doubt, is like, yeah, shut up, Maru. You idiot. Maru, though, I think he's got a big smile on his face. You know, I've watched Maru play mech before on his stream. And he'll lose an hour-long game and be like, yeah, that was pretty dumb. Probably shouldn't play troll styles like this. And Solar, on the other hand, I think it obviously comes in as the underdog. He's got to try a little bit harder. And I think Maru like just is like, hey, I'll try playing mech on the big map and see what happens. I think he's very much just let the pieces fall where they may, see how it goes. Solar, on the other hand, struggling to get his 4th base up. And yeah, he's got a Spire, but off just 3 bases, I don't think Spire's that good. Oh, Solar. Hello, Solar. Solar, wake up, Solar. Oh my god, Solar with an incredibly slow response. Maru didn't even distract him with the typing in the chat to do that time. He's still, okay, good links around. That could have been a lot worse. I mean, that was a very slow response. Probably should have taken no damage there. Nonetheless, Solar's building mutas, and I get that muta plus links around is very good versus battle mech, because you can get the lings to be locked on by the cyclones and then just focus them down with the mutas. I don't know, though. It feels like he might be a little too far behind to pull this one off. Double Banshee production plus Cloak coming in now as well. Now, the reason Maru did this, you might think, what is this cool technical plan that he's definitely planned ahead? I disagree. I don't think he planned this. I think he didn't plan to lose his barracks so early, and when he went to build more factories, he realized he couldn't build a factory because his barracks was dead. So he said, well, I guess I just play double Starport Banshee because I can't do anything else. So Maru's lack of paying attention to his build is actually what's caused him to do this. Yeah, it's not a bad style. Banshee's one of the highest damage units in the game. The Roaches are getting picked off by the Magfield Cyclones. Oh, Solar's got to be careful chasing this army down. The Mutas and the Lings do run in the natural, though. That's huge. That is huge. That's a lot of damage. And the Roaches are chasing on the front as well. Breaks that lock on. Will turn around and immediately go right back in, though. There's very little anti-air units. Just 5 Cyclones, no turrets. And these Mutas are going to absolutely destroy Maru. This is the problem with playing Cyclone Hellion is you feel like you've got full map control, you're doing good, you know what's happening, but a wave of surprising mutas can fly across the map, and if you don't see it coming, it just feels like there's not a lot you can do. He had an engineering bay, but just obviously a bit too late to be throwing those turrets down. Actually, did he have that? Or did he build that once he saw it? Yeah, he had it building before the mutas came in, but he'd only just started it. And the mutas already arrived before it was finished, but if his Cyclones were all at home, he might have been okay. And he needed to swap into Widow Mines and Thors as quickly as possible, but no warning at all to do that. Nice 1-0 start for Solar. Slaps down the silly mech build. Doesn't let Maru win with what is a style that Maru very rarely uses in the most important games and the most important stages. Well played by Solar. All right. We are going into the next game. It's going to be on Cryolysis. And yet again, the snow is heavy. Winter has come. Solar in the bottom left side of the map. His opponent in the top right, it is Maru. Not as much, there's not actual snow covering the buildings or anything on this map. Whereas there is actual heavier snow on that previous map that we were on, so on altitude. But here on Cryolysis immediately, just that wording makes me think of like a stasis chamber or something, you know, some sort of, oh, we're going to travel interstellar for 800 years. We better freeze ourselves in cryolysis, you know? Just me? Maybe? I don't know. Hatchery first. It's a pretty big map once again. This is, of course, yet another TLMC map. This whole tournament is played on them. Ooh, what do we got, guys? We've got some funky fungus in this little thing. And then some other plant there. And we've got some minerals in that one. And some more funky kind of little flowery petals there. And then over here we've got, is that some little Protoss things? And here's some more minerals in another viewing canister. What else is on this map? Here we have some magic runes. I guess these are like consoles that the Protoss can go up to and press buttons on and it'll do stuff. And yeah, okay, not bad. Got some destructible debris over there. Apologies for the observing. And we've got some little Protoss temple statue things as well. Cool. Don't mind the aesthetic on this map. Oh, there's a shield battery on the map as well. Isn't that cute? It's a little shield battery. Obviously, that won't actually do anything. That's purely just a little piece of terrain. You can tell because when you look at the mini-map, not only is it somewhere where things can't move and building, you know, clearly this is impassable terrain, but there's no actual mark for it on that mini-map. All right, Maru's going to rock up. Now, guys, I've been telling Solar for years to only build 4 Zerglings. He's like, 6 Zerglings is better. I won't lose a single unit ever if I build 6 Zerglings. Let's see. Let's see if he can hold up to that claim. Ooh, ow. Those last 2 Lings pop out very late, but they are fresh and healthy. And he does have to pull a drone back, but as long as he doesn't have to do a spore trick, I think he's okay. Maru with some very good micro, but doesn't get the kill. Second gas is up, which means high likelihood of a quick starport here. Cryolysis is when you destroy something by freezing it. Oh, really? So maybe this ship is being destroyed because it's too cold. Ah. Internet already teaching me the meaning of words. What is a was it biogenesis? What does biogenesis mean? The beginning of life? What are some of the... I learn a lot of words from StarCraft map names. Lings getting surrounded there, or Reaper, sorry, getting surrounded by the Zerglings. Genesis means birth, so biogenesis should just be the birth of life. Yeah, right? Right. Which, funnily enough, was a map that was filled with toxic sludge and looked like utter garbage in terms of the aesthetic. It looked really like not a fun place to be. All right, here we go. Reaper Hellion moving in the right side. Now, keep in mind, Solar's going very standard. Maru is going stim. Multiple Marines, a Viking, Hellions. Is he just going to build a third CC now? This is an old school opening. Oh, no, no, it's not. No, it's not. Okay, he's got the armory on the way now. I see, I see. Okay, so he's going to be doing a Hellbat push, but he's going to have like 5 stim Marines with it. Yeah, this is a really cool kind of modern version of the build where you're like, no, it's a totally normal. I'm just building a third CC behind this. If Solar gets a Ling in the front, he should see that there's heaps of depots in the wall. That tells you your opponent's not building a third command center. Because the only reason they'd need depots this many, this early, is if they're non-stop pumping Hellions and units out. Which is, of course, a sign of a much more aggressive play. Now, that Viking's already killed an Overlord. He's looking for a second one. The Queen should be at least be able to put a few hits on that and punish it. So the Viking will get down into the orange, but well worth getting an extra Viking kill. More Hellions and Reapers running in on the right side. Armory is finished right now, but not able to get any kills. And he's going second and third barracks. Okay. What is this? Oh, he's going to elevate 4 Hellbats in the main and then 4 Hellbats hitting the right side, plus more Marines and Hellions as well. Okay, Maru gathering up. There we go. He's going to unload. And guess what? Solar doesn't have vision in the left. Oh, this is so much easier to respond to if you see them unloading. But wait, Maru goes deep, and the Spore Crawler actually is going to get some really nice damage. Oh, man. The Viking lands. It takes some shots as well. Hellbats and Morphin. And, okay, Viking's actually doing some decent damage, but it will go down. Hellbat's not really killing anything, just denying mining right now, but that is still decent damage. And here we go. The Queens are going to focus down the medevac. Zerglings and Queens trying to deal with this. There's no transfusers, though. Remember, Solar dropped so many tumors. He doesn't really have many transfusers saved. Hellbat Stim Marine doing damage out there. Meanwhile, drones and Queens starting to fall in the main base. He needs to focus that other red hit point Hellbat, but he's too busy abandoning his third right now, trying to get roaches out. Maru should get defended here, but if he can just get one more big volley on these drones, that would be big. The Hellbats fall. The last Hellbat in the main base falls. Only 4 drones went down. Solar. Some exceptional micro under pressure, and he is having a bit of... You know, you only killed like 3 drones, right? Maru's like, it was 4. I killed 4 drones. You shut your face. He's going to hit with a big follow-up timing attack in a few minutes, but Solar feels like he has enough room to get up to Mutalisks in the meantime. He, of course, doesn't know that this third command center just started and is so late. Solar's already got 3 bases filled with workers, though. He's on 6 gases. He should be starting his 1-1 upgrades and his... Oh, actually, is he going to... go roach upgrade meter? Wait, he doesn't think he's playing mech, does he? He saw Stim Marines. Okay, Baneling Nest finally does go down. He's not bothering with roach speed, which might be a problem. Because these roaches aren't going to be particularly useful unless you morph them into Ravagers. But he wants to save that gas for Mutas. His 1-1 upgrade is also exceptionally delayed, which is a big problem. As 1-1 upgrades are coming in for the Terran. He's going up already from 5 barracks to 8 barracks. Maru powering super hard here. And he's just like, yeah, I'm not going to build a single more worker. We're going pretty all in on this. We're just going to transfer workers to saturate the third. Solar's like, hey, buddy, how's your 8 barracks going? You know, I've spotted it, right? You know, I can see that you're committing really hard to a 3-base timing, and I'm going to block it. Maru says, eat gonads. Solar says, no, thank you. No, thank you. Queen's going to start to focus down the medevacs. Drone's trying to pull back here. And those Marines, no escape for them. Goes hunting for drones as they transfer back. Doesn't manage to get any. Good move so far. But what do we got? Extra reactors coming down. Okay, so Maru's going to play mass Marines and tanks, which can beat Lingbane Muta. Definitely not the ideal comp, though. The male Ursidak, by the way, this here is Braffle, the Ursidak. He's hanging out, and he's like the mascot, you know? He's like the community pet of the Zerg building over here, the Zerg base. Oh, no, so Maru caught with his pants down, but wait, the mutas do fly in a bit deep. They don't notice straight away. And Solar, oh, good spready on the mutas. Splits them off. Those 3 go back home. These guys are going to continue. The turrets weren't down. He was not expecting mutas. Mutas are so rare these days, and they're so vulnerable. I wonder if he swaps over and starts building Hellbats, or if he just goes straight for a Thor. Sorry, to Widow Mines. Or does he go straight to a Thor to help with this? Marines are going to cut off the retreat. Solar, watch out! Uh-oh. Solar once again splits his mutas. But that leaves the worker line open, so Maru tries to catch the mutas, pays with a few extra SCV losses, does end up catching 2 or 3 mutas though. And that is indeed a very juicy catch. Oh no! Oh no, guys, he forgot about the Evo chambers! Oh no, he was too busy patting Braffle. Where'd Braffle go? Braffle, where are you? Braffle? Braffle? Oh, there he is. He was too busy petting Braffle, he got distracted. He got distracted and he went and started 2 more Evo chambers from scratch. Big mistake here for Solar. Oh, he's going to be way behind on those upgrades. +2 attacks already almost finished for Maru. Solar just needs to make sure he has an abundance of Banelings in these next few fights. His muta count's not that high. Maru feels pretty desperate just because he doesn't have Widow Mines. He's got no real anti-muta unit. Just Marines. Obviously, they can beat the mutas on their own, but Banelings kind of wreck Marines. As you see, mutas lure him around to that left side. These units go down. Now, of course, this map is very bright, by the way. I didn't just change my settings or anything, for anyone who's wondering. I think it's the ice, all the light shining off the ice or something like that. But I hope it's not too bad on your eyes. I know it's very white and kind of illuminated, a bit frosty. So far, didn't lose too many units, Maru, but it's feeling like a 3-base all-in. He's still not building a 4th command center. He's just massing Marines. He's got 74 Marines, 4 tanks. He's building 8 Marines at a time. He could build like 15 Marines at a time if he wants to. He's got a massive upgrade advantage, but Solar's going to buy time with his mutas. That's a pretty good move. Messed up his micro there for a second, though. I'd like to see some Banelings start rolling in or Lings into the mineral lines. You can see he's starting to think about splitting his army up right now. Solar's maxed out. He's got 35 Banes and about 75, soon to be 100 Zerglings, 5 Ravagers, and those 11 mutas. He's going to try and fight off creep. Not necessarily the best choice here. Okay, so he kind of half engages, biles a tank, and pulls back. It's a good way of doing it, but uh-oh. Maru shoving forward. Maru with a very decisive shove. And I think Solar needs to keep morphing these Banes. He's got 13 morphing in reserve. His Banelings need to go forward and find these units. This is a very good fight for Solar. I think Maru came too deep on creep. Good pullback timing. Lovely pullback timing for Solar. He's got those 13 Banes we talked about. They've just finished morphing. And he's going to go in with them. The mutas. Oh, a lot of mutas do die to the Marines. But the Banelings connect. Maru waited too long on the hot pickup. And remember, this is a 3-base all-in for him. He's still not building a 4th command center. He's trying to make +3 weapons. The double upgrade advantage not enough. He wants a triple upgrade difference. Solar definitely should try to start 2-2, but he's going to go melee. Doesn't have the gas for Carapace. He's building a lot of Mutalisks, though. I do feel like those mutas have not been really paying for themselves. He's already lost 11 Mutalisks. I think at this point he could just play a Lingbane macro game. Get Carapace +2. There we go. Starts it up. And go into, you know, just 5-base Lingbane, head towards Hive, head towards the Ultras, because Maru's still going to have 1 or 2 really powerful armies hitting across this map. Now, there's a female Ursidak over here, guys. The Ursidak doing good. Ooh! Single Mutalisk does go down. Oh! Ooh! Okay. Oh, watch out for the biles. Okay. Maru barely picks up in time, gets that one out of there. All right, guys, we've got to check in on Braffle really quickly here in this game. Braffle? Am I blind? Where'd Braffle go? There he is. He's down behind the back of the minerals. Braffle's still hanging around, unable to find his missus over there. That's Mrs. Braffle, but hopefully he finds her later on. Apparently there's cleaning bots on this map as well. Maru right now is like, let's lift my main to a 4th. Yeah, he's never transitioning, but he's going to have an ungodly amount of Marines, and now he's going to have a Thor. So if the mutas clump up, they can be in trouble. Solar's got to be really careful. I feel like you want to start trading sooner rather than later. Like, if I was Solar, I would keep a lot of Lingbane forward and start backstabbing and creating little skirmishes. Because if you fight in one big engage, he's going to have a bigger maxed out army than you, and it's way better upgraded. So anything you can do to buy time and split the engagements from one big fight to lots of small fights is good. But Solar is just sticking his army in a giant blob, and that can work, but I don't think it's the optimal choice, because I think if Maru micros perfectly, he simply will trade so darned well that he can clear the army, even with 54 Banelings in the mix. You've got to buy time for your 2-2 upgrades to be done. It would be crazy to not wait for those. On the other hand, I guess 3-3 is about to finish for the Terran, so they're going to finish at the same time. So it's still going to be the exact same upgrade differential. Nothing will change, assuming they fight when both 3-3 and 2-2 is done. Adrenal Glands is on the way. Muta's flying around, going to see if they can pick off some stuff. Some Ling Bane starting to spread here. Maru's being so slow and careful. He knows this is the one last punch that he'll probably have in this game. He needs to do a massive amount of damage. Sol has 81 drones and is starting to bank up resources. And look at the way he's calmly pulling back. Lings and Banes are going to go in. He's going to take out the missile turret. He's going to think about skirmishing on the front as well. And look at that. Forces the whole army back of Maru. Just get these small trades. 2-2 is now finished, but so is 3-3, unfortunately. Maru's going to shove. He's got 3-3. Banes are going for it. Mass Baneling Solar. But he pulls back, and I think a good pullback. He still baits stims out. Mutas are on top of the production, which can do really well there. Ultras are trying to build. Man, it's trying to buy time here as Solar. He's so afraid right now. Biles are going to land on the Thor. It gets to half-life. He's got to keep baiting these Marines in, but there's so many medevacs to heal them. 12 medevacs constantly healing everything that goes on in this game. The Baneling count, if they're ever gone, the Marines run in and win the game. Solar needs to just keep falling back. Oh my god, he lost a lot of Banelings there though. Lings are on the third base. Mutas are on top of the production. Maru has no reinforce. This is Maru's last ditch army. The Baneling Nest is about to fall. Baneling Nest and Rotoran have both gone down. You can still build Ultras and Lings, but no more Banelings will be coming in here. A lot more Banelings just died before they connected. Maru, he's got the double upgrade advantage. The Ultra does not have kindness. It goes down. The Banelings get some juicies. Some big fat juicies all over Maru's army though. Solar should be able to hold, but Maru picks up. He spreads. His tanks are still back there. His Thor's doing some trippy droppies. The Mutas, the Lings, they're all going to gather and come back. One big surround could maybe seal the deal. How many Marines we got up front? Maru has 9 Marines, a Thor, and 3 siege tanks. Right now, there better be a whole lot of action heroes driving each one of those vehicles, and each one of those Marines better be literally the best. We better see some Rambo-style action, man. And I'm not talking First Blood. I'm talking about like Rambo 3, where it's just an insane, senseless action movie. Oh my god, the Marines and the tanks pulling back. The Lings getting the wraparound. The Ravages coming in. Big Biles could land on the medevacs. And they do! Like 3 medevacs go down, and Solar has held on. He manages to scramble together that defense. Maru, even when he's behind, still stitches together such a scary push. But Solar, so patient, pulling back with the Banes over and over and forcing Maru deep on creep before he engaged. Whoo! Very well played by Solar. All right, well, this is a pretty rough start to this series. Luckily, it's a best of 7 as we go into Lazarus Wastes, but he's getting toyed with a little bit right now. He's down 2 games. I would never count him out in this matchup. I think he is still heavily favored versus Solar. It is Maru. Like these little force field type things around the gases. That's purely cosmetic, just looks cool, guys. Doesn't actually do anything. Does look kind of awesome, though. As does the exhaust on the side of the spaceship, which I guess this level is on. Solar's in the bottom left. He's got a 2-0 lead. Now, Muta's 2 games in a row. 1 counted mech with a nice surprise, which is not surprising. That's like a common play to catch out a battle mech player. Second game, though, was definitely a big surprise for Maru. Luckily, the first wave didn't do much damage to him, but the refusal to build the second factory, the 4th command center, Maru clearly didn't feel like he'd done enough damage, I think, with his Hellbat opening, and he felt like if he did try to transfer into a normal game, might give up too much ground and get overwhelmed, so he just went for the aggressive option. Now, this is a fascinating build, because this is a 3cc opening, greedier than any 3cc you've ever seen. He is going barracks, command center, right? Because he hasn't taken gas. So he's building multiple Marines, which he's going to maybe try and hunt down overlords with. And yeah, no second barracks. It's going to be a command center. Oh my god. This is the greediest mineral-only 3cc build ever. Maru, you dirty lad. I think he's just saying this is a really big map, hard to kill each other. Just let's do the greediest build I possibly can. Brings this SCV over here. And he says, all right, let's go. 3cc starting at 2 minutes and 13 seconds. That is delicious, man. Maru's a madman. But he's just saying, well, I mean, if you Banebuster or Ravager bling me, like I die. But you're not going to do either of those. Not on a big map. There's no way. But look at that. Solar perving from the pillar. Maru has no idea he's being watched. That Overlord's like, oh, yeah. I can see you, boy. I'm watching you. You don't know I'm here. So lots of pillars on this map. But, oh, no, he does know. Oh, Ramal! Ramal, says Solar. Solar's like, you map hacker. How did you know I was here? But Maru was planning this all along. Oh, he's going to get up that ramp, he is. There's a new barracks being built, which will tell him it's bio. And the Marine's going to go after this Overlord. Solar's like, yep, well, it's going to take you a while to kill this dude. Oh, the Lings could even go after the Marines. That's hilarious. Another Marine comes in. The Lings are going to go after it. This game is... Why has Solar not built another Overlord at home? He should be building 3 Overlords right now. Instead, he only starts one up after... Okay, that's... Usually pro players teach us really good things, guys. In that case, Solar did not do that quite right. He had about 40 seconds warning that the Overlord was going to die, and he didn't build an extra one. Sloppy ass, man. Now he starts another. The other Overlord didn't even get him out of the supply block. Like, oh man, I guess his 3rd hatch comes in at just the right time. But definitely playing it a little bit close. Baneling Nest goes down. No. He's going to go for a Bane Bust. Okay, so Solar sees that this is some form... Oh, he actually saw the 3rd command center. Oh, Maru, why'd you build that out there? Maru, you fool. You fool of a Took. You fool of a Terran. I feel like Gandalf right now watching this idiot knock a bloody dwarf corpse down a well. He's going to call the friggin' Zerglings and Goblins up from the goddamn Baneling depths, man. Oh, if he walls off, maybe. Look at this, he's moving out front. Dude, Ling Speed's about to finish. Get inside. Maru, what are you doing? Hide! He has no idea. There's no way he can know this is happening. It's purely just if he knows that Solar might try to do this. But, okay, we've got a big Ling Bane Bust coming in. Solar doesn't know about the bunker, so he's just going to try and surround him. And, oh! Oh, no, Solar let him get in the bunker. Solar did let him get in the bunker, but this is still way too much damage. Oh, man. Those Marines are going to get gunned down. All of the SCVs trapped. Oh, no, Maru. Oh, Maru, no. Oh my god, dude. Don't build your buildings in vision of the ramp when you're doing a giant gamble build. And he needs to wall off right now. He needs to move the command center over. He needs to wall off. He's not walling off. Maru! What are you doing today, dude? He's got 84 APM. He's literally just staring at his screen. Build an engineering bay there and there. He doesn't realize there's Banelings. How does he not realize? I don't know. He's going to try and repair. That's way too many. Okay, he's going to try and wall off with that command center. And he's going to try and defend this choke point as well. The Marines are perfectly set up, but dude, the Banelings say boom, boom. And Solar says, dude, you better put some respect on my name. Stop screwing around, idiot. Well, there's a point when you're down 0-3, you open up with a fun mech build, and you've done some other fun builds. And it might be time for you to knuckle down and just do a solid 3 command center opening, Maru. He literally needs to win 4 games in a row to not just lose. I mean, any loss and he's out, bam. And Solar has 4 chances to make it happen. Maru doing some real silly bananas strategies here. I mean, I've complained a lot about Terrans just building their tech there. It's like, especially with the 3rd command center, he'd already cleared the Overlord. He could have built the 3rd command center basically here, well away from the ramp. It made no sense to build it in vision of a Zergling running up. This is something Terran players always do. The number of times I've seen in the depth shade on top of the ramp and be like, oh, I can see your factory on a tech lab. That's okay. That's like game-winning information. And Terran's like, doop-de-doop, gonna keep building it there. I'm like, you could build the factory of the command center 1 space to the right, and they never see it. It's a big mistake. I know I'm sounding kind of ranty, but I've seen Clem do it many times in TVP where his production gets scouted for free. And I'm like, come on, guys. Especially if you're playing sneaky strategies like Maru is. Maru's build, if he was given another 2 minutes, would have been fine. But like I said, his whole build was deny information, gamble on them, not realize what you're doing, and then you'll be fine. But the Zergling usage from Solar was exceptional. The reactive Bane Bust made perfect sense, even just starting with a Ling Flood to begin, to make sure no one could get back up the ramp. Really beautiful play. Now, on Royal Blood here, this is a map where there's a lot of gold. So if you check it out, notice the buildings. This is the treasury here. And next to the treasury, there is treasure. There is even a treasure chest with a little symbol on it. Does anyone know what that symbol is? Oh, did they hide some Illuminati stuff in here? Conspiracy theorists, let me know what that symbol is. Does anyone know? If you know, let me. I'm very curious. Well, yeah, we've got coins. There's treasure. There's all sorts of fancy stuff spilling out on this map. So it's a very interesting map. I imagine it's somewhere where royal people live in these fancy buildings, and that's why there's giant pieces of gold everywhere. Got a nice little urn on top of a tower. Oh, there's even more gold on that one. Okay, Reaper's coming in here. Pretty standard opening so far. And no second gas. So Maru's going to play 3 command center this game. 3cc bio going to be a bit more of a standard game. Solar's been conditioned to expect weirdness from Maru at this point as well. Solar right now is like, Pig, this is why I build 6 Zerglings, dude. Spore Trick and losing a Zergling. Ah, sucks, man. Third command center is already building. He builds it this time in a position where it can't get scouted by a Ling on the ramp. Good on him. Solar's just droning on up. But yeah, Solar might be conditioned to expect crazy aggression. Like Rainer at TvZ when he was playing Maru, you know, we were like, hey, what do you expect? What's going to happen? He's like, well, Rainer's going to open up with some absolutely bananas, stupid, gimmicky opening. And I'm going to crush it. And then he's going to like turtle up and it'll be really hard to actually beat him because he's still a god. But his openings are bizarre, basically. Like Maru has such variance in his TvZ openings. He has so many different weird builds that he throws out. Even in big tournaments, he does do that. So as much as with all the chatter in the previous games, you'll notice there's no chatter now. So even if he was a little bit lighthearted and relaxed and bantering, the banter has completely come to a halt. And now we have hardcore, angry, super standard solid play Maru. He has a Tech Lab starport. A Tech Lab on the barracks, the starport there. He's got Hellions building. I imagine a Liberator or a Viking will come out first. Doesn't quite have 150 gas, but I think this is a Liberator. There we go. So he's going to do just Hellion Lib pressure into Bio, and that's a really solid way to play. Now, he's actually vulnerable. If Solar was doing a big Ravager Ling all in, he'd be a little vulnerable to it. Oh, nice Spore Trick. Very well done there by Solar. Solar's lost very few units. 1 Zergling so far. 2 Spore Crawler tricks. Very good saves. Overlord's going to come in. 3 Marines are going to say, no, no, no. Does he see the Tech Lab? Yeah, he sees that there's no add-on on the starport. That's important. So Solar should be building a Spore at least in the main and the third to defend against the Medevac or Liberator that could be coming out. He's going to build, yeah. So Spore Crawlers going down on the edges. These are, of course, Liberator Spore Crawlers meant to catch that Liberator as it tries to fly on blast. So very, very effective. He sees the 3 commands. Third command center floating down as well. Solar's up in workers, but only by a handful. I do think he could be a bit greedier here. We'll see how he goes. He's got, of course, 6 queens out, 2 about to pop. And that Liberator coming in will get spotted by the Zergling. Very nicely done. If Solar's queen and Spore are in position to deal with it, the Liberator has very little chance of getting much done. I personally would send a 2nd queen up to make sure it gets shut down. Not sure if Solar realized it was there. Obviously, the Hellions are distracting him. And here we go. He's going to come in. Solar did not notice it. It's passed 2 different times where it's been spotted. Solar a little slow to react there. He's going to lose a drone. Queen goes in at the perfect time. Gets some damage on the Liberator. Punishes it. Solar a little slow to respond because the Hellions dart in. They grab 4 drones there. Oh, good Zergling wrap around though. Solar with a great Ling spread. The Hellions, some of them might get out of here, but most of them will go down. Ling's on creep, more than a match for them. The Liberator's only got, 3 hit points. Solar thought it was dead. The Queen goes over and finally finishes that bad boy off, but not before a total of 6 drones go down, as well as some Zerglings. Not the best trade for Maru, though. I still feel like Solar's held that pretty well. The problem for me is Solar doesn't have a 4th or a lair. So I'm kind of like, okay, you've got 1-1 upgrades at a good timing. They're barely behind the Terrans, but where's the 4th base and that sort of stuff that's really going to explode you to the next stage of the game, because having a 5 or 6 worker lead is not enough. In this matchup, you want to be up 10, 15 workers, 20 workers if you're really got a solid lead on your opponent. Just being up a handful of workers ain't great. Baneling speed's going to be so slow as well. Just needs to make sure he has enough gas to make 2-2 and Baneling speed the moment that layer is done. I guess 2-2 will be a bit slower. Oh, big thanks, Fatal Fury. Give you guys some props in the chat. Anyone else who's been supporting in a few minutes in between the games, thank you so much. Armory's on the way as well. He's building Widow Mines, so this naturally flows into a 4th command center and a 2nd factory with drilling claws a bit more. Double drop in the main, while Hellions, the Hellions scan at the front. They can only kill like 2 tumors before they get pushed back. And there's a nice ring of spores. queens here as well. Can get some very important damage done on the medevacs. Yeah, if he loses queens, it's not worth it. But look at that. Gets a bunch of the marines and damages the medevac. The marines might be microing well, but they're too damaged. So too many of them went down. Good trade for Solar. Solar's up on 73 workers. 6 more on the way. He's going to hit 80 workers. But the Widow Mines are going to be here. They're going to be in the face of Solar in just a moment. Solar's going to need to take that 5th in the bottom right-hand side. Most of the bases on this map aren't normal bases. Here we go. Army moving forward. Widow Mines fire. A couple of Hellbats in the mix. Lings do intercept the rally point. He could click on that command center. Would be a big pickoff. You can't, of course, run a command center that's building away. Banelings. Oh, he does split some Banes in, but there's still a Widow Mine there that hasn't fired. Lings get a few SCVs, but the Marines come over. He's going to try and break the front. The Widow Mine does fire, but it looks like these medevacs are getting damaged and should be cleaned up. 1 medevac, 2 medevacs. I think it's okay to lose your queens if you're shutting down the medevacs there, which he did for the most part. Only 1 escapes. 4th command center survives though, as do most of those SCVs, and Maru is ready to keep pushing. He's got a 2nd factory coming up as well in that main base, nice and protected. His 2-2 upgrades are a little bit behind on Solar, and Solar's Bane speed is finally here. He's needed it for a while. Just, oh man, he needs it to keep these queens alive. If he loses the queens, that's terrible. Oh, you're kidding me! Oh, no, 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 no. Maru's Widow Mine from the flank kills 12 Banelings. And just like that, Solar finds himself deep in D-Town. Oh, my lord. I did not even catch that one tracking on, so let me just rewind for a second. I gotta see what happened. Which unit was that tracking on? Looked like Solar was kind of hanging on it and defending, but just not quite. So it's this Widow Mine here. I think it's this top Baneling goes a bit too close to the sun. Oh, it's actually, yeah. Oh, it's so bad. Oh, wow, 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 wow. And, yeah, no Overseer here. Hatchery was deep in the red, so he couldn't afford to give up any ground. It was already too damaged. Really good, just straight up, solid Biomine push there from Maru. Gets his first point on the board. All right, well, he did try and finally drop a map, but he's still got 3 more chances to finish it. Definitely not time to stiffen up in his play. Time to just keep on doing what he's been doing. He played pretty well in that last game, but it just felt like he, needed to double down on defending that push a little bit more. Maybe get a couple Banes in the mineral line or something like that would have been good. I think his Ling run by only getting 3 SCVs was a bit of a bummer. It was one of those ones where if it was just 4 or 5 Lings, forcing the response he did would have been good, but Maru just handled it too well. Cleaned up too many Zerglings for free while doing well on the frontal push. Maru's going to go 1 Rex expand, no scout. He's like, yep. Could be getting killed by some sort of rush, but these maps are pretty big. Check it out, guys. Lots of destructible rocks on this map. So this map is Star Child. We've got lovely purple flowers everywhere. All sorts of cool stuff going on. Do we have any? Oh, that's a double rich gas base. Okay, so guys, double rich gas base here and here. Very valuable in the late game. It's a lot of gas. But other than that, it looks like they're all pretty much normal bases as far as I can tell. Yeah, it looks pretty standard. Solar's going to expand down here for his 3rd, then potentially 4th and 5th up there. Now, I think it was Dark earlier who took the triangle base, but I think Solar's base choice is a bit better. I think Solar, in general, I think most Zergs just take the 3rd without really thinking about it, and Solar's one of the few who I've been very impressed by his decisions of where to expand. Oh, Maru's dirty micro there. So that's actually a scenario where Maru was getting way too fancy. I think if he was playing against a guy like Reyna, he wouldn't have microed that aggressively. Because Reyna is very good at spreading his Lings and trying to intercept and surround if you get fancy like that. So I'll let him get away with it. 3rd command center does go down. I do wonder if like a big Ravager Ling all-in could be a way to take out Maru now that he's gone back to really standard 3 command center play. I think Solar, though, he's a player who knows he can take Maru in a macro game. He often loses like 2-1 to him in GSL and that sort of stuff. I remember back on 2000 Atmospheres, there was a game where he should have beaten Maru, but he just kept attacking around a corner, unfortunately, with his mass Baneling. And even though it was the right timings to attack, his positioning was always just a bit too good. Maru's was on the defense, and Solar couldn't quite break him. And whenever Maru would kind of barely win a macro game, which he was behind in versus Solar, he always follows up with proxy barracks and always wins. So if he wins a macro game, then proxy barracks marine rushes, even if the proxy marine rush doesn't do that well, Maru always wins from there. Like, very consistently, this is a pattern where it's like he knows that Solar feels a little bit defeated, is going to be a little bit less confident, and he's like, quick, drive this in, drive the blade in right now. Good cancel on that drone, making sure it didn't die as it popped. Really good move by Solar, just manually clicked the egg and canceled it. Loses him a lava, but he gets the 50 minerals back, so, or at least 38 of those minerals, so not too bad. Hellions gathering up. We've got a Viking coming out this time around. And going into 3 barracks behind that. Expect 2 engineering bays and 2 gases on the natural in the near future. Viking did see extra barracks building, so at least he knows it's not mech. Also gets 2 creep tumors down, so it's going to be a nice way of doing it. Solar's queens do come forward, but looks like they're on move command. Got to be careful. 10 lings are in reserve right now, so he's playing very light on zerglings. Is Solar? Solar's basically just saying, all right, just play greedy. And he's actually built 5 overlords at once, so way too many. Solar, he's not macroing as smoothly as he should be right now. He's at 70 out of 114 supply. That is a mistake. He's going double Evo chamber, so he's basically saying, I don't think you're being aggressive. I think you're playing 3 command center. I'm just going to try and get upgrades, then lair Baneling Nest again. And it's not a bad way to play, but it does leave you that window where you don't have the Bane speed. And that's always a very frightening window. Okay, scan goes down there. Solar, he's going to be distracted by this, which means his 1-1 might be delayed, but nope, starts up exact same time as Maru's. This is not that many Zerglings. You don't want to headbutt into this choke point. Good spready on the Lings to try and make sure they don't all line up for the Hellions. The Hellions, of course, shoot that flame out in a straight line. So if you can spread out, you're usually okay. Oh, Maru! Oh, Maru! Okay, the Lings finally finish off that Hellion. Viking. I think the Viking only got 1 kill, and that was the one that was already flying into his base. It would have died anyway. Marines do come out and save the Hellion. Very well done. Lair starts up at 5:45. Once again, not the fastest lair, but pretty much when he was lined up to do it with what his gas count was. And I'd love to see that 4th base go down. There we go. You can see he's planning for it. And there we go. That's the sound that makes when a drone turns into a hatchery. Some people say, why are you so juvenile, pig? Guys, I'm not afraid of biology. It is what it is. Stop being so uptight. No need to get your knickers in a knot. Just is the way. You know, there's a lot of gases. When you turn something that small into something that big, there's a lot of gases, a lot of chemical processes going on. Ooh. Get back, Overlord. Queen's a little bit slow to start getting hits in. And Viking does get it and pulls back. Nicely done. Double drop. Queen's going to get some damage. Focus that medevac. Oh, he didn't focus the medevac. He did at least get rid of the first Widowmine before it could do anything, though. Second Widowmine only hits the Queens. Very nicely done. And that 4th base will be getting saturated in the near future. No Hydrogen or anything like that just yet. It goes down now, so Solar is getting ready for that. We'd like to see him spread creep as well. I think one problem players run into in ZVT is on a new map, they're not really sure where the creep is meant to spread. And it's just not as natural moving around the map to spread those creep on those important paths and clicking exactly where you want them to go. It's not as automatic. There's a little bit more of a hesitation each time you do it where you go, okay, yeah, this is where I want to put it. And any extra thought process like that really slows you down when you're playing at Solar or Maru's level. Oh, manual focus fire. Oh, Maru, so annoying. Gets 2 drones. Another Widowmine in the natural. Oh, does get it shot down. Nice defense. Another Overlord goes out. He thought the Viking left. Maru's like, I never left, dude. A small Ling run by on the bottom. I like that. Just a small Ling run by. He could morph those into Banes and run in later as well if Maru doesn't do his due diligence in finding where those hid. Nice Marine Hellion pressure in the middle, though, keeping the creep back. 70 workers versus 70 workers. That does bode well for the Terran. He's got a 4th command center, going up to 8 barracks and a 2nd factory finishing, as well as the armory about to finish, so we can try to start catching up on the upgrades, which right now Solar is in the lead on. Got to respread this creep out here. Solar's letting himself get pushed into a bit of a corner, and he's not on a giant work account, so definitely feels like the greedy Maru is just setting up slowly and patiently for the late game. Solar's got some Banes and Queens on the right. A lot of Lings could go in. He's got to watch out for the Widowmines. Oh, pow, 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 pow. Bam, bam, big boomies on the face of Solar's Lings. Meanwhile, he does get some good surrounds on the Marines. Queens are going to run forward, take some for the team, but the Banes need to back that bad boy up. And indeed they will. Good job there by Solar. Looks like he's got some Lings in the mineral line as well. He actually gets not only a bunch of Marines, he also gets 6 SCVs. That ends up being quite worth it. And Solar back in the worker lead, up by 5 workers. He's got the quicker 2-2. I'd like to see an infestation, a hive soon, and a lurker den, as well as him establish a 5th base in the north. After that 5th base, it gets very difficult to expand. You have to start taking these exposed rich gas bases or start going down to the corner down there. Either way, it's going to be difficult to do, but once he gets the lurkers out, it'll be much more viable. Drilling Claws is on the way. 2-2 upgrades, concussive, 4 Marauders, 3 Marines at a time. So the Marauder count is 0 to this point. You give him 1 minute, and then he's at 12 Marauders. It's a massive power spike I've talked about for years. His Ling Bane is quite good versus Bio, and even Biomine, but you add a big row of Marauders with concussive in front of the Widowmine spread, suddenly it's much worse. Oh god, the Widowmine! So good at retargeting, but Solar even better with the spready. Lets it set off on just a single Zergling. Solar's very good at just surviving, but his creep is pushed back, and that gives Maru all of the momentum that allows him to pick where these fights happen. Lurkaden and Hive are on the way. Solar's got to hang on for a while longer. He's losing queens. He's only got 6 queens, and that's a problem. I think he should replace those and really focus on keeping the queens split up on both sides of the map. He's got to spread this tumor down the middle, respread tumors on the bottom right, respread tumors on the top left. Right now, Solar's not doing that. Solar's hitting everything else out perfectly. Mass Lings, Mass Banes, Mass Hydras, good army movement. But the lack of creep spread means that Maru can set up these traps. Oh god, nice Baneling debt. Okay, good spready as well. That last Widowmine was probably the most impactful, 8 kills. Overall, not a bad fight for Solar, but the units lost tab, of course, is not going to speak well on you. Engaging with Lingbane versus Biomine off creep, it never looks good for you as the Zerg player. You're going to have to just use this as a way of buying time until those lurkers hit the field. That's when things get a bit better for you. He's got a lot more Banelings in the back. Plenty of Hydras here as well. 12 Hydras coming forward. The Ling Bane trying to pull forward. The Banelings not quite able to connect, though. Maru microing this ball of bio like a bad man. He's got ill intentions here. He says, you may have me down 3-1. You may have had me down 3-0. But I don't give up easily. He's going to pick up and boost in the main. He can absolutely just tank those Spore Crawlers. But a few medevacs will potentially go down. Oh, good reaction by Solar. Oh, was this a mistake? Oh, Maru messed up here. I think he went a bit too deep. Somehow doesn't lose more than like 2 medevacs. Spores really don't do that much damage when they're shooting non-biological units. Queens need to pull back right now. We need the lurkers to come out. They are morphing. But for now, the Lingbane needs to get it done. Tanks, Widowmines, Marine, Marauder, Spreadies. The Widowmines trying to fire out. Maru microing his heart out. Very nice play by Maru. The Lurkers, the Banes, they're coming forward. But God, it's so expensive. Somehow he's only down 3,000 resources in the units lost. I expected that to be a few thousand resources worse than that. The problem here is that Maru has a 5th up on location. And while Maru hasn't built the Iron Bank yet, he hasn't invested in that, it's only a matter of time. He's already at 88 workers. He's just covered the map in everything he needs. I wouldn't mind a Widowmine drop going out for him. Anything to just keep the pressure up on Solar. You can see Solar's moving out with some Vipers on that left side. Sees that this push is gone. Oh, Solar. No. Ow. Careful, mate. Another Widowmine up there denying that future base. Solar's actually expanded to the bottom right. And I feel like this is actually the more awkward expansion pattern. But he's got some lurkers down there, so they can always stall out and advance for at least a little bit. But letting this base go up for free is a huge problem. I mean, think about it. Even just 20 Lings, forcing that to lift and cancel would have been big. But Solar's so turtled up right now, he's not able to do it. And he sees SCVs get pulled onto the line. I mean, this is classic Maru. He builds SCVs non-stop to 90 SCVs, and then 10 seconds later realizes, oh, I built too many SCVs, and he just throws them away. No second thoughts. He doesn't stress over it and say, oh, I should try to get mining value. Just chucks them away. He says, no, I need more army right here, right now. I don't have mass orbital. I need a big army to make sure that I can do what needs to get done in this game. Nidus Worm does go down for Solar over on his 3rd base. There's a Widowmine up there. We've got a Widowmine drop. There we go. Wasn't Maru, of course, just realizing keeping that pressure up is very important in this game. And he's going to try and push the top left and deny that new base going up. Would like to see a Parasitic Bomb. Yeah, good idea. Just make sure there's no way that gets out of there. And the Widowmine does go down. Maru's going to shove the left side. Ghosts and Widowmines don't really damage buildings very much. Widowmine's not at all. But he denies the base, starts setting up the Widowmine spread. I would have liked to see just a 5, 6, 7 Banelings roll into that a bit earlier, while Maru was still setting it up. I think Solar's giving Maru a bit too much room and a bit too much respect right now. And I think the lack of anything happening on the other side of the map is making it even harder for him. Vipers almost get focused down, but not quite. Maru is so good at this micro. But he does lose the front row of Marauders. And there's only 8 lurkers out right now. Definitely more lurkers are probably needed. But with so many ghosts on the map, it's tough to say exactly what the best move is. Hydraling Bane lurker coming forward. Oh. One Widow Mine goes off, but decent hit for it. The ghosts throw out some EMPs. They don't quite hit the Vipers. The Bio running forward. Solar's just afraid because that chase is going to get punished. You can't chase into the Bio Mine tank, especially around this corner. He would need to flank this army, but he's getting hammered. He needs lurkers or something out here. He's going to throw a Nidus Worm in the bottom right, but nope, it gets shut down. Overseer also getting shut down by Liberator and a Marine. The army in the top looks like Maru stumbled forwards. Solar's hanging on like a champ, but as I said, he's going to need to flank it if he wants to get rid of it. Oh, the Widow Mines, man. Oh, man, the Widow Mines. Oh, and at least the Banelings got on top of the Ghost a little bit, but it still didn't feel like a clean engage. And Maru saves 3 Ghosts, a Marauder, and 6 Marines, as well as a lot of the medevacs getting out of there. More medevacs do rally in and take some damage. Another hatchery getting cancelled. Solar is stuck on 5 bases. Much like Data C, we are seeing maps where it's just so hard to secure these corner bases and these later bases as the game goes on. And the Terran player is actually able to maintain a similar economy to the Zerg, which is, of course, disastrous the longer this goes. So, of course, +3 melee, +2 range on the way. +3 carapace is already done for the 3-3 of Terran. Terran has +2 vehicle plating, but no other weapon upgrades for Hellbats or anything coming in. Just the enhanced shockwaves upgrades for those ghosts. There's already 21 ghosts on the map, which is very good against Lurker Viper. Not so good against Ling Bane, but there's not enough Ling Bane, I think, to punish it. And there's also been, I mean, if you're playing late game, Serral has shown us the best way to do that is as early as possible, invest in Burrow, Pathogen Glands, get out 3 Infestors, and spread those Burrowed Infestors across the map, because you can punish this sort of Ghost Micro so hard if you could pop up behind and fungal it. Serral is the master of that. Solar, not as much of a fan of that move. He likes to swing in with a big flank and overwhelm you, but doesn't always work out. Ghost does come in on the bottom right side with Cloak, starts focusing down a few drones, but then does derp out. Maru's too focused, pushing that side. I don't know if he can cover the lurkers anymore, though. I don't know if he can cover the lurkers. Oh, no! 2 lurkers getting sniped down. One of them barely survives the first snipe. Okay, the Hydras, the Lings, the Banes need to come forward, but the lurkers are getting gunned down. Where's the scan? Maru runs out of scans. The only thing that saves Solar in that situation is Maru running out of scans. More Hydras, Lings, and Banes are on the way. Oh no, a new scan comes in. Here come the snipes. The Cloak Ghosts, the Banelings and Lings and Hydras try to run on top. But Solar is being outnumbered. He's trying to run across the map with these lurkers. I think maybe they were sitting inside of his Nidus Worm. I think he was looking for that, but he forgot he had a bunch of supply inside the Nidus Worm. He's now sending the lurkers across the map. They're getting gunned down by the Marine Marauder, being forced to slow their advance. And the thing is, Maru can actually pop out units in a surround to deal with this. That lurker positioning is not quite on the infrastructure just yet. Solar's economy is getting hammered. And that is a big problem. The lurkers do shove forward a little bit deeper. The Nidus Worm, where is it? It is completely empty now. It's been abandoned as a strategy. The Marauders coming in from that side. 2 lurkers go down. Another 2 lurkers very low. Marine Marauder actually could fight from the high ground over here. And Maru's out of scans. He's taken some damage. Unfortunately for him, or for Solar, I should say, the Ghosts are just winning the fight. The Ghosts are literally just winning a straight up fight at the moment. Solar's rally is not enough. And that is a very, very nice, just dominating start to finish. Very much in his comfort zone play out of Maru. And let's check. Were those lurkers in the Nidus Worm? Oh, they were. So he only just finally got the lurkers popping out there. 8 lurkers missing this whole time. He would have been better off, honestly, just running them across the map and like burrowing them here or something like that. I mean, he didn't know he wasn't going to be able to get the Nidus Worm in, but if he also got an Overseer in the back and was popping Niduses here and here, that would have pulled a lot of Maru's attention away. But Maru was relentless, and he never gave up control. Very nice play. He's on the comeback train. He's determined, he's focused, but he's been giving an easy time of it. He's just played 2 exceptionally standard early games, and he's gotten away with it with very few curveballs from his opponent. Onside Gaming's Maru looking really good right now. Solar has got to keep playing dynamic StarCraft. Don't get me wrong, his good StarCraft early on was a reactive Ling Bane all in when he saw Maru being greedy. There was him shutting down some aggressive builds and then winning from there. Some nice surprise mutas and muta swaps doing good. Well, you know what? Go back to the Mutalisks. This is a big map. It's a pretty good map for mutas. You've got fair bit of like dead space around the edges and the back of the base and stuff. If there's ever a time to go back towards Mutalisks or mix in a Ravage, you know, something, this would be it. Because it's a big map. It's another map where you can't really just rely on... I'd say Ravage a Ling all in. But these maps seem like they're too big. Solar's going to go spawning pool first here. Bottom left side, we got Solar. I think I already introed him, but I'm going to do it again. Onside gaming, onside gaming, onside gaming. Solar. Now, this is, of course, altitude, guys. This map, everything's covered in snow. Notice how the hatcheries have a nice dusting on them. Creep tumors, when you see them, keep an eye on them. They look really funny. They've got ice and snow all over them. Notice the depot there, the lower depot covered in snow. Looks a little bit like it had a bit of a nasty time at the end of November, early December, if you know what I'm talking about. Anyways, snow all over the place. And yeah, it's cool that we've got this tournament and these maps coming into Christmas time. Obviously, even as an Australian, I associate Christmas with winter and snow because of all of the, you know, movies and things around it, even though we have it in the middle of summer. So it's kind of nice, feeling festive. 6 lings going out. That's a pretty big ling pressure. And he's got a pretty fast gas as well. I prefer 6 ling pressure into a quick third hatch, personally. Oh, this is the map, by the way, with the rock tower, of course, that can be collapsed to clear the watchtower, which you can then clear very laboriously to get a 10 mineral patch gold base, which is awesome. Oh, here we go. Ling's coming forwards. There is a marine, but it's up on the high ground. That SCV on the low ground's in trubs. He's just going to click on that command center. 1 ling chasing the SCV. Good micro so far. Reaper's turning around. He's going to have to pull SCVs or just cancel the command center. Both are valid calls. Maru is going to lose quite a few units here. He loses a Marine and an SCV so far, as well as a lot of time building that command center. Another SCV goes down. I think this was pretty successful by Solar, but another Marine did pop out. Maru immediately canceled his add-on to get that Marine. So keep in mind, this really messes up Maru's build because he doesn't have a reactor now either. Immediately drops the 3rd command center. Solar knows that's what he's doing. Solar's got ling speed on the way, but no 3rd base. And this is why, like I said, with this opening, imagine if he went 3rd hatchery, and you'd be like, but he doesn't have ling speed. So what? I don't know, man. I feel like you can have your ling speed about 30 seconds later, get away with it. You're not always going to run into someone who has to cancel the reactor, but I kind of just wish it was a little bit spicier and greedier in the follow-up for Solar. Really look to run away with the game off of this nice bit of damage that you did. 2 SCVs, a Marine, big delay on the command center. Reaper's going to come in and be a bit of a nuisance. There's no lings to actually use that ling speed to kill it. See if he decides to build some. Oh, he's going to get that. Oh, nice Spore Trick. Barely found the space to build that Spore Crawler in time. Oh, that's going to be a nice pullback by Solar. And that Queen is going to chase that off. Starport is now finished. We've got Liberators on the way as well. Pig, have you ever eaten at Outback Steakhouse? Yeah, there's one not too far from me that I used to go to a fair bit. It's pretty, it's kind of hilarious that an Aussie actually eats at Outback Steakhouse. But yeah, it's not bad. It's a pretty good steak. Ooh. Aliens and Reapers running forwards. Overlord's going to go for a sacrifice here. He should... Oh, he didn't scout that there was only 1 gas, so he doesn't know it's a 3cc. Oh, he doesn't know that it's a 3cc. He sees no add-on. That's why he was spamming clicking there with the Overlord. He really wanted to see. He sees no add-on. So we should see Spore Crawler there. And Spore Crawler also down here going up. Which drone is he? Why did he take a drone from his natural to build that? Ooh, gross. No Spore on the 3rd base, but that's okay. Lib is heading towards the main. Only 10 Zerglings, but he's got 4 more coming out. So 14 Lings, 7 Queens is a very good setup for Solar. Double Evo Chamber goes down, creating a semi-wall. You know, oh man, I love the ice on the creep tumor. It looks so funny. Looks super weird. Throbbing even while half frozen, dude. It's the Zerg way. Oh, Liberator taking some damage. Maru being a bit of a nuisance. Queen's pushing back the Hellions. Queen should... It's really important you move your Queens to intercept the Libs. That's very annoying. Okay, he's gonna have to pull back all of his Queens, but that means... No, Solar! Oh, Solar dropping his trousers here to take a dump, but dude, there's already a dangerous Maru that's locked eyes with you. It's decided that you are prey. You never, ever, when there is a wildcat out on the prowl in the savannah, you do not drop trousers while it's staring at you guys. You do not put yourself in a vulnerable position. It is not a good idea, because if it sees you drop trousers and start just, oh yeah, just relieve myself. It's like, come on, this is free dinner. I know you can't get away. Now, Solar luckily didn't take that much damage. That could have been way worse. It was definitely not on purpose that he lured him in there. But at the end of the day, 64 workers to 48. But Maru does have the third base landed. And where's the lair? The lair's not down there. Solar's lair has been so late in this series. And his 1-1 upgrades haven't even been that early. I'm starting to think maybe Dark with his take an early second gas and get double Evo, lair, and Baneling speed all up way quicker is actually a better build than what Solar's doing. I really like that build from Dark. Queens are moving back towards the front. Hellions and Reapers are going to pull back. It is going to be a reacted factory. It's going to be Widowmine party, guys. Now, I think one of the best ways to play against a Widowmine player is to do lots of backstabs, keep the fighting on their side of the map. Don't just let them set up dirty Widowmine traps and lure you into them over and over. Solar, though, is an expert at basically sitting back on creep and letting the Widowmine player come to him and just dodging the Widowmines and surviving and getting to lurk attack and then making big plays. Maru, though, has been cutting corners in this series and he really just playing 3cc into super solid Biomine, and it feels like he's got all the psychological momentum. Solar needs to play a flawless game of StarCraft. He needs to finish this off and get that one last win. He can still lose this game and he'll have another chance in the next one, but he really should look to be finishing it now. Queen's tanking a heck of a lot. Good transfuses all over the shop. The Lings, though, maybe getting stuck behind a little bit more than they probably should. But the Bio and the Hellions are pretty damaged. That stem runs out. Another stem will, of course, put you very, very low. No backstabs at all, though. Maru is able to just rally to the front. This is what I was talking about. I really feel like some Lings should have been out there doing something this whole time. They weren't, and now Solar finds himself on the back foot. Maru, utterly relentless. There's no Banelings. There's no Banelings. He's just overwhelmed him. But wait, that is enough Lings. There's one Hellbat in the back, but it's not able to reach anything. Those tiny little Hellbat arms, much like the Tyrannosaurus Rex. One of the units that does struggle with self-pleasure as well as reaching over the back of other units. Lings and Banes are trying to morph, but there's no Bane speed here. Banelings aren't going to help. You need to... Oh, he needs to be active on the map. If Maru's able to rally to the front, it's 2013 when the Widowmine was first introduced. You cannot let a Terran rally a Biomine parade across the map. They will trade way better than you. You have to punish them by backstabbing. Solar has not been able to do it. And Maru here is just really playing a completely carefree version of StarCraft. So many players would be too paranoid and wouldn't push like that. But he says, no, Solar's not going to do anything about it. I've got him in his corner. I've got him where I want him. And it feels like Maru has a good understanding of his opponent's psychology and knows that there's not too much for him to worry about. Solar's expecting Maru to play a bit more standard. Maru is not. Maru is adapting and just rallying across the map non-stop, taking good trade after good trade, macroing behind it, picking where and when the fights happen, and Solar cannot keep up. Baneling speed is still not started. Hive before Baneling speed right now. Solar is desperate, but he doesn't even realize that Baneling speed hasn't started. He must have thought he clicked it a few times, and he just hasn't. There's so much panic that misclicks are starting to happen. Mistakes are starting to drip through. And is it actually possible? Maru was down 0-3, and now he has played a very just onslaught of Biomine for the last 3 games in a row. He's taken us to Game 7. If he can complete this reversal, this would be utterly disgusting. Well, is it actually possible? Can he actually bring it back and complete the reversal? Right now, I think his fans are almost as throbbing as this hologram thing over here that honestly is, wow. Oh my god, I'm your biggest fan, Maru. Oh. It's that sort of energy right now. Maru in the top right now of Lazarus. A map that is covered in choke points. In the bottom left, we've got Solar. Looks like he's just going to go for... Oh, he was thinking of going for a spawning pool first. Changes his mind. Yeah, we've got cliffs all over this match. Notice there's these ridge lines. So there's unlimited Overlord hiding spots on this map all over the middle area, but there is no Overlord hiding spot above the natural. Just some dead space that you can try to sit in. And there's so many choke points as a result of this. Like, this is a nightmare. So when you look at a map with a lot of chokes, a lot of scary areas, you need to be proactive and backstab the heck out of the Terran. I mean, think of Maru versus Dark, Valencia Finals, Game 1, Game 2. Dark goes double Evo at 4 minutes 20, makes the fastest 1-1 upgrades ever, runs 60 Zerglings in and wins the game. 2 games in a row. Just like that. Just a big, greedy opening. 3 base, just shoves Zerglings in, wins the game with 1-1 upgrades. It was a great timing, and he got a few wins versus Maru. I want to see Solar do that, but Solar so consistently plays the same sort of vanilla ZVT that I'm worried that he's just going to keep doing the same thing. And it does not seem to be working, right? So obviously he's saying, hey, I can just play better. Yes, he can, but he's going to need to do more run-bys. Even if he plays a solid macro game, I don't want to see him trying to make 80 workers and they're just defending because he doesn't have enough army. If he stops at 70 workers, has an extra 20 Zerglings, backstabbing, forcing Maru to look elsewhere, that'll be good. But right now it feels like Maru is doing whatever he wants and really playing the attention game and pulling Solar's attention this way and that way. Feels like Solar's stopped engaging with the psychological and the attention-focused game, which is honestly so important in Zerg versus Terran. It's make them look here and then go elsewhere. Make them look there and then go elsewhere. Some nice trees on this map, by the way, in the middle of the desert. I really think you've got to pull their attention around and really make it hard for them to just focus on everything at the perfect time. Maru's making 0 macro errors because Solar's putting no pressure on him. If you don't put pressure on him, he will run away with it. He will get just a little ahead in the clean standard macro games. Now, that Reaper's doing some damage. Gets a Zergling or two. Doesn't get the drone though, so I still think building the 4 lings here, you can see paid off quite well for Solar. Third base is on the way. 3 CC opening for Maru. If it ain't broke, don't change it. Oh man, I can't help but feel like, dude, I almost, as a Solar fan, I almost want him to just Night Swim. I mean, remember that Maru literally lost a game in a world championship to Solar. He was 99% dead. And then Solar walked into a desperation nuke and lost like 100 supply of Broodlord and Festa Corruptor. And Maru then won the entire game. And then 2-rexed him out of the next game. Maru has made some gross comebacks against Solar in the past. And it would be so disgusting for it to happen here again. I mean, Maru is obviously a god. He's known for making incredible comebacks. Solar is known for being the unluckiest player alive. And it would just be such a bummer to see that legacy. I would love, like, at this point, to have us all, let's be real. The momentum's on Maru's side. This looks like the previous games. We're all looking at this going, oh god, Maru's going to do it, isn't he? That's what I'm thinking. I honestly do not know the result. I remember knowing the scoreline was close, but I've actually literally forgotten who wins. I'd seen the result, but I got my hands on the replays. I'm loving that I don't know the result because part of me thinks like, look, surely Maru's just going to win. And the other part is like, but what if Solar can do it? What if here, right when we're losing all hope, he just stitches together the sickest macro game and does some really good plays. And like I said, Maru's playing very good StarCraft right now, and it feels like he's playing like Clem. And I've said for a few years, if you let Clem just rally units across the map and biomine parade you, you have 0% chance of victory. I don't care if you're Reyna, Cyril, Dark, like you just will not win. It does not work because he's too good at microing his biomine. If you let him pick where the fights happen, you're screwed. But if you use your mobility advantage and you backstab him and catch him off guard and hit his worker line, it's a very, very different story. Double Evo chamber once again, but it seems like he's taking a second gas with it. I really would have loved to see him take that second gas even earlier and go for the faster layer. Oh, he's doing it! He's doing more like the Dark build. Now, Dark takes the second gas and puts back on gas much earlier and does it off 2 gas, whereas Solar's trying to take 4 gases very quickly. And he's going Roach Warren. Oh, he's going to try and do a surprise 1-1 Roach. I think Solar might just go all in with the Roaches as well. Because let's be real, Maru is very weak against Roaches. If you can make it look like you're just defending with 8 Queens, some Zerglings, and then you're actually doing that, that could be amazing. Unfortunately for him, he didn't spot the Hellion drop because the Viking cleared the path, and that's a big problem. Queens and Lings are coming. Great drone pull. Great drone pull. Oh, excellent, excellent play here by Solar. Good spready on the Lings as well, but nice lineup for Maru. And that medevac very low. Only 3 drones and a few Lings go down. Medevac's deep in the red. Good defense. Now, Solar's not quite on 66 drones yet, and he's building a few more Lings, which I don't know if I fully agree with. I guess he kind of needs them just to stop that Hellion drop coming back in. Maru has his 3rd down. He's building Bio. He's building a reactor again. He keeps going for the reactor. We needed a different play, and this is exactly what Solar's doing. He's going to do a Roach Ravager shove. Problem. That's a choke point. Now, I've seen a lot of players use their Roach Ravager in a big ball at pro level because they feel otherwise the Terran Bio will stim and kill half of their Roach Ravager ball while the other half isn't really in the fight. But on this map, if you want to break this 3rd, you have to attack half your army there, half your army here. You cannot attack all through one choke point or you're going to be in big, big trouble. Once there's siege tanks especially. I mean, pre-tank it might be okay, but after siege tanks are out in good numbers, that's going to be an issue. Now, right now, Maru has no idea what's going on. This is his camera, guys. Solar needs to keep hiding these roaches and ravages for a bit longer. He's a little supply blocked right now, but his overlords are popping. Now, Maru's going to push, and I think this forces Solar to show his hand. I think the queens and the lings aren't going to be able to defend this. I remember Rogue sometimes would defend even this pressure with roaches and with queens and lings, and then really get to the next step. And it seems like Solar's trying to do it. Remember, Rogue was the master of killing Maru with surprise roach timings while pretending it was just queens into Ling Bane. And here we go now. Feeling like he has to do it. The roaches do come out now. Roach speed and 1-1 are on the way. Maru instantly runs away and swaps his factory. He knows he's in trouble. He knows he's in trouble. He's trying to buy time. He's trying to act scary, but the lings are in on the third. That's massive. Oh no, Solar though. He clicked a bit far inside the mineral line. The SCV is not getting the damage that he should have been able to. The lings still get 4, 5, 6, maybe 7 workers. Very well done by Solar. And those lings can get out of there. Really nicely done. Okay, Solar's going to try and shove. I really would have liked to see him hit the left side rather than the right. I think that's a better angle, but he says, hey, there's free depots and mining accessible right now. The first tank has still not started. Maru's supply blocked and his first tank hasn't started. Oh my god, Solar seems to have a winning strategy. That Overseer going down would be huge. That Overseer would be huge. If you kill the Overseer, he might not notice these Widow Mines on the ground, and the buyer's trying to disguise it. Great first Widow Mine shot. Oh no, Solar advancing into the Widow Mines. That's not, you do not want to be taking Widow Mine hits when your Roach is that clumped up. If you run a Roach forward, it's not too bad, but otherwise it can be nasty. Now he's got the ranged advantage. The Biles are very strong here, guys. Oh, he takes another giant Widow Mine splash. Big mistake there. A Zergling is somehow inside the main base. The first siege tank only just started. Solar has this game in the bag. Maru just kept trying to do the exact same thing, and Solar, it wasn't working. He was playing completely standard, and he's changed it up, and he's coming out with an excellent play. Oh, he's looking for more damage. He's going to try and shove his way in. Great Biles. If he just keeps spacing the Biles out, that's the most effective. You don't want to use all your Biles at once. You just want to keep spreading them out, and that's going to get you value over time. As long as you never lose your Ravagers, this will be a game-winning move. Solar has actually done it. I can't believe it. He's actually done it. I thought he was going to just be broken mentally after the way those games went, but he hid these roaches for so long. Maru was on autopilot, as he often does seem to be, because he's so confident with his standard play. And that's exactly why this is a playbook that Rogue showed us many times in big important tournaments, and it's how you can consistently smack Maru down. Those upgrades, look at that. The upgrades are going to go down. 2-2's almost finished, but there's no way they're getting in there. There's not enough bio tank to get down here. +2 weapons denied. +2 armor denied. And there we've got a Solar on 69 workers on 4 bases versus 29 SCV, 23 SCV Terran. The Bio trying to retreat up the ramp. Maru right now, he's thinking of Tefl, he's thinking of MVP. He says, maybe I'm MVP. Maybe I can make an incredible miracle happen right here. I can do it. I think I can do it. Onside Solar right now is like, mate, do you think I'm Tefl? Do you think you... No. Let's be real. Number 1, I'm not Tefl. Number 1, I've got Ravagers, which they did not have back then. Number 3, I've got 4 base economy and not 2.5 base economy. Breaking the rocks down to get these 10 mineral bases open on the sides as well is Solar while keeping him contained. Maru can build up and he can start to recover. So what he needs to do is hold his natural for about 8 minutes until his main and natural are almost completely mined out, and then he'll go from there. Sorry for that, guys. Just had a phone call, bit of a little emergency hum in, so we had to pause the game for a second. We are back into it, though. Triple drop going out. So he's got to hold his natural, defend 17 waves of Roach Onslaught, try to wall off with an eBay, and then do massive counter drop damage. But the Overlord sees him. Overlord sees him. Solar ain't getting surprised by this. He wasn't born yesterday, and he's going to be going up to the next one. Maru is completely dead. Maru is very, very dead. He's going to try. If anyone could make a comeback from here, I guess it would be Maru. He definitely wants his tank shots landing on this ramp. But he's got to keep his tanks spread so they can't get biled. The Viking finally goes down. Bailing speed 2-2. Hive all on the way. Oh, man. Oh, man, if he kills it, full drop ship, full drop ship, full drop ship. Maru's like, no. Yeah, I mean, this is insane. There's no way from here. This is crazy. A few people confused in chat. I said not 2.5 base economy. 2.5 base economy is what Tefl had in the famous biggest comeback of all time, biggest throw of all time in StarCraft 2 history. MVP versus Tefl. Check out Esports Storyteller's lovely video that goes over it. There's a few videos I think that have talked about that over the years, but a very epic game. A very epic game. Okay, tanks bio gathering up on the front. I mean, Solar can still just smack him at any time. Solar doesn't. He's got +2 carapace. He's going to have +2 melee range on the way, Bane speed as well. I would really like to see Solar just spread some OVs on the edge, bring these guys to the front and just finish the game. Because he's maxed right now, and there's no real reason to wait. Oh! Just gets 1 or 2 units down. Maru's going to still try and dance around and find some value with the bio units, but seems like a bit of a stretch right now. Ultra Cavern's on the way. Ooh, any units getting hit by Banelings is not good for him. He's going to try and defend on his natural ramp, realizing he definitely can't hold in the open. But my god, that's a lot of Zerglings. Maru knows he cannot stop that onslaught. And can you believe it? Solar. I thought he was going to lose. I was like, far out, man. I knew this was a close scoreline. But the fact that he went up 3-0 and then lost 3 games in a row, I could have sworn he was going to be dead there. I'm very happy that Solar managed to switch it up in an intelligent way, punish the 3cc straight into Biomine parade style that Maru was abusing him with. And we see now that, hey, wait a second, Maru was cutting corners. He wasn't scouting enough. He wasn't building any safety tanks. And Solar took him out with a big surprise roach timing. Perfect play. GG, well played. Solar wins the final Olimoleague tournament, Olimoleague, very, very much. GG, well played. Thanks to Olimoleague for running so many tournaments over the years as well. It's been a real pleasure to sub to the Patreon and cast some of those. I do hope they come back and do some more next year, and maybe since they said they were finishing, they get a bit of revitalized interest and start it up again, but we'll see how we go. Either way, much love to Solar, much love to Olimoleague. Thanks for watching.